I walked into the banquet hall to applause, but I froze. Marla was standing under the chandelier, holding something in her hands, my leather-bound journal, open, loudspeaker on. "And here's what Boone really thinks of me," she announced, with a laugh that made my stomach drop. "She's not wife material. She's just safe," the crowd erupted. "Yeah, that really happened. Rewind 6 months. I met Marla Creel during a tenant dispute at the property management firm where I worked as a junior advisor. She'd stormed in over a mold problem. I was supposed to de-escalate her. Instead, she made me laugh, then made me dinner, then made me fall hard. We were engaged 3 months later. She was beautiful, fast-talking, emotionally intense. I was methodical, quiet, the fixer. The balance worked until it didn't. From the start, things moved too fast. But Marla didn't slow down. Ever. She wanted to merge bank accounts before we hit month 4. She insisted. I cut off my ex. I barely spoke to her, and blocked my cousin, Nora, for commenting, "You two are so cute," on an old Instagram photo of me and my ex. Then came the job change. Marla said I needed a real future. She didn't trust commission-based jobs. She wanted us to have structure. So I took a boring office role at her uncle's finance firm in Elkins Falls, Pennsylvania, a town where people still pronounce Wi-Fi like it's a foreign word. I hate it every day, but I told myself I loved her. The red flags? I called them quirks. When she cried if I didn't respond to her text in under 3 minutes. She just loves intensely. When she went ballistic because I got lunch with my old college buddy Rigo and forgot to mention it. I should have remembered to say something. By fall, I'd started keeping a private journal. Just to survive mentally. I never meant for anyone to read it. I wrote down the things I couldn't say out loud. The doubts, the resentments. The fear that I was slowly erasing myself to make this relationship work. She found it a week before the wedding and waited to humiliate me. When all my coworkers, family, and friends were gathered to toast forever. But back to that night, because that moment will haunt me forever. I stepped into the spotlight, expecting to give a speech. I had one in my pocket, sweet, safe, full of lies. Instead, Marla held the room. And here's where he writes, I think marrying her will be like taping a smile on a corpse. It'll look fine, but inside, it's rotting, gasps. My mother actually dropped her wine glass. And then Marla smiled and dropped the journal into the ice sculpture next to the cake. Melting ink. Melting reputation. The next 10 minutes are a blur. Someone was yelling. I think it was my brother, Warren. A woman from my department looked at me like I was a psycho. I bolted. Drove to a Motel 6 on Route 12. I couldn't go home. Marla had the keys. And there, in that freezing motel bathroom with a buzzing light and a cracked mirror, I asked myself, what did I just survive? What would you do if the person you trusted most destroyed your reputation, using your own private thoughts, while everyone you know watched and clapped? Let me know in the comments, because I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I planned. I planned the hell out of my next move. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, jaw locked, replaying the scene over and over. Her voice, her smile, that disgusting little bow she took after reading my journal like it was a comedy roast. Then the text started, screenshots of me admitting Marla was a burden. Clips from her live stream, live stream of the journal reading, over 80,000 views. Comments like, he dodged a bullet. This dude's a walking ick. Why even propose if you think she's garbage? I wasn't just dumped. I was digitally executed. People I hadn't spoken to since high school were messaging me. A woman from work texted, you're lucky she exposed you before the wedding. You're toxic. Toxic? Because I wrote in my own damn journal? The real kicker? Marla had twisted it all. Made it sound like I planned to trap her in a loveless marriage while secretly hating her. Like I was using her for stability when she was the one who pushed me into that job, that town, that life. I wasn't angry. I was radioactive. And when you're humiliated like that, you either break or explode. I exploded. First, I vanished. Quit the job. Blocked everyone. Deleted socials. Moved out of my apartment in Elkins Falls. And drove across state lines to the one person who wouldn't judge me, my cousin Nora in Pittsburgh. She didn't say a word when I showed up on her porch, looking like a sleep-deprived serial killer. Just handed me a mug of coffee and opened the guest room door. That first week, I didn't talk. Second week, I started writing again, only this time, Not in a journal, in a spreadsheet, a plan, a blueprint for justice. Because here's what I knew. Marla wasn't the wholesome, heartbroken angel she painted herself as. Behind that perfect smile and public sob story was a woman with secrets. Ugly ones, and I was done protecting her. Let's start with the money. When I met Marla, she was broke. Credit score in the 500s, but 2 weeks before our wedding, she'd suddenly come into $17,000 for decor and venue upgrades. Where'd that come from? Answer, her ex. Yeah, Tyler Strayed. Her ex from Florida. I only found out because Nora, God bless that woman, still had Marla's wedding site bookmarked. And on the vendor page, a boutique florist from Jacksonville. Paid in full. Buy a card under T Strayed. I called the shop pretending to be Tyler's assistant. They confirmed it. My bride-to-be was secretly taking thousands from an old flame. But wait, it gets worse. 3 months before the wedding, Marla had told me she needed space for a week. Claimed she was visiting her grandmother in Maryland. I checked her old flight confirmations in our shared email. She forgot to log out. She'd flown to Florida for 3 days. To Miami. Guess who lives in Miami? Yup, Tyler Strayed. Still think I'm the villain? Now imagine how I felt, sitting in Nora's kitchen, laptop open, fingers trembling, realizing my whole engagement had been one elaborate performance. She wanted the wedding, not the marriage. She wanted the spotlight, not the commitment. And when she read my journal, that wasn't revenge. That was her exit strategy. She knew I'd bolt, but she didn't expect me to come back swinging. So I started digging deeper. Remember that finance firm she pushed me to work for? Her uncle's? Turns out Uncle Mike was under federal investigation for fraud. Quiet seal case. And guess who had access to client databases under my login? Marla. She had copied my credentials onto her tablet. I found the cache on a cloud. Sync when I logged into an old shared folder. Names, SSNs, bank accounts. And suddenly, it clicked. She wasn't just manipulating me emotionally. She was using me for access. For legitimacy. For cover. Now the question wasn't if I get revenge. It was how loud I could make it. So I booked a flight back to Elkins Falls. She thought I was gone. She thought I was ruined. But she had no idea what was coming. Because the next time the crowd gasped, it would be her standing under the lights and me holding the mic. I landed back in Elkins Falls on a foggy Thursday at 6:12 a.m. Didn't even tell Nora I left. Just booked the ticket at midnight and walked out with one duffel bag and a folder packed with the kind of evidence that ruins lives. Marla had no idea. I was back, which was perfect, because my plan depended on silence. I started with Uncle Mike. He didn't recognize me in the cafe at first. New haircut, tired eyes, hoodie up. But when I handed him a vanilla folder with printouts of internal access logs, IP data, and copied client exports, all accessed under my credentials, he turned pale. You trying to blackmail me? He hissed. Nope, I said, sipping my coffee. I'm giving you a choice. His eyes narrowed. You're going to remove every single trace of me from that company. Every login, every log. You're going to sign a notarized statement that I was set up by an unauthorized user who had access via your niece. Absolutely not. I smiled, then slid him the backup folder. In it, screenshots of Marla logged into my work laptop at her apartment. Metadata intact. A copy of a 3-minute video where she filmed herself joking, I'm basically Boone now. Watch me rob a bank. She posted it on her private story for 10 minutes and deleted it. But a girl in her yoga group had saved it. Because she thought it was funny. She sent it to Nora. Nora sent it to me. God bless petty women. Mike folded fast. He didn't even finish his muffin. Within 72 hours, I had what I needed. A signed letter from company counsel declaring that I had been the victim of credential fraud. Completely cleared. Now I could move on to step 2, destroying Marla socially, which wasn't even that hard. She'd become a mini local celebrity after the diary dump. People followed her online. She leaned into it. Started a TikTok account, called it Marla the Martyr. No, I'm not kidding. Told sob stories, fake tears. Did healing girl content. Brand deals with skincare companies and motivational mugs. She was thriving until I sent the first email. Anonymous. Of course. Subject line. Your local sweetheart is sleeping with a married man. Proof attached. IBCC'd it to the local women's Facebook groups, her yoga studio, And the Elkins Falls Community Newsletter team included a few strategic screenshots of her and Tyler in a hotel hallway in Miami. Time-stamp. Watermarked. Clear as crystal. Boom. Within 2 hours. The comments under her videos flipped. Homewrecker. Guess she's not so holy after all. Girl, what happened to healing? She went private that night, but I wasn't done. Because her followers? They thought I was the villain. So I gave them Act 2. I created a fake account, Journal Guy Rewrites, and posted a video labeled My Side of the Story. It was a stitched TikTok-style monologue. No face, just voice. I kept it raw, unpolished, unhinged. Talked about how I'd been used, lied to, made to give up my life, my job, my friends. How she humiliated me. The twist. I read a single entry from my journal. The original one, the one that said, I don't hate her. I'm scared of her. I think she wants a wedding more than she wants me. I'm afraid she'll destroy me if I leave. The comments blew up. Bro, you're the victim. She read your private journal in public. She used you. That's abuse. She belongs in jail. By the next morning, her sponsors dropped her. Her online store was on pause, and she posted a tearful apology. That turned into a tantrum halfway through. Classic Marla. Then came the final blow. I mailed her a wedding invitation. Yes, a real one. Embossed and all. Marla Creel, you are cordially invited to witness the truth. Saturday, 8 p.m., the same venue you humiliated me in, formal attire. No gifts. I knew she couldn't resist. She needed control. And control meant showing up. The night came. I stood under the same chandelier. Same room, same crowd, but this time, I was holding the mic. And oh, it wasn't a wedding. It was an expose. Saturday night, same venue, same carpet, same chandelier, but this time, the music wasn't playing. This time, there was tension in the air you could taste. People arrived dressed like they were coming to a fairy tale. They left looking like they just witnessed a crime scene. I stood near the podium, dressed in a navy blue suit Marla had once picked out. A bit symbolic, don't you think? The room was half full by 7:45. By 8:02. It was packed. She walked in at 8:07. Marla. Hair in loose curls. Black satin dress. Pearl earrings. She looked around like she owned the room until she saw the projector. And the microphone. And the small table next to me with the leather journal. Her jaw clenched. Gotcha. She started to walk toward me. Slow and angry, but someone stopped her. My cousin Nora. In a glittery bronze dress with a camera strapped around her neck. Seats. In the back, Nora said, smiling. Enjoy the show. I took the mic. Thank you all for coming. I began, my voice clear, sharp, deliberate. Tonight's not about a wedding. It's about a story. One you haven't heard. A few chuckles. Some murmurs. Marla stood stiff, arms folded, trying to hide behind a column. I pointed at the screen behind me. First slide. The real timeline. What Marla didn't show you. Click. Photos of Marla and Tyler in Miami. Hotel time stop. Boarding pass. Credit. Card trail. The audience shifted uncomfortably. Click. Her fake GoFundMe page from 2021 meant for medical bills, but connected to a designer handbag. Purchase. Click. Text messages between her and her friend Danya. He's emotionally weak. I can make him do anything. I'll read the journal if he tries to pull out. It'll make me the victim. The crowd gasped. Marla's face went white, but I wasn't done. I reached for the journal, held it up. This was supposed to be a private place, a space to process, not perform. Then I opened it. And read one paragraph. Just one. I don't write because I hate her. I write because I'm afraid no one will believe me if I leave. She cries when I don't reply fast enough. She controls who I talk to. She wants me smaller every day. Dead silence. In a whisper. Holy Shasterisk T. I closed the book. I never wanted revenge, I said, voice shaking now. But she made it public. So now the truth is public too. And with that, I walked off the stage. No applause. Just stunned silence. Then murmurs. Then people standing. Then Nora handed a USB drive to a local reporter sitting near the buffet. By the time I walked out the back exit, Marla was surrounded. Not by friends. Not by defenders. By people asking questions she couldn't answer. She chased me out the door. Boone, what the hell was that? You ambushed me. You humiliated me. You did it first. That was different. That was personal. You ruined me. I turned to her, calm. No, you ruined yourself. I just held up the mirror. She slapped me. Honest to God, slapped me. Right there in the parking lot. Someone gasped. Someone recorded. I didn't touch her. I just walked away, back in Nora's car. I exhaled for the first time in weeks. That should have been the end. But a WASN single quotes T.2 days later, I got a call from a blocked number. I let it ring out. Then the voicemail came in. "You don't know what you started," Marla whispered, voice cracked. "You think this is over? It's not. You're not clean either, Boone, and I'm not done with you." Chills ran down. My spine dropped because as much as I thought I'd won, her voice didn't sound defeated. It sounded dangerous. And then 2 hours later, I got an alert from my bank. Someone had tried to reset my online account, then my email. Then my cloud storage. Marla was back, and she wasn't planning to lose again. You ever think the war's over, only to realize you just won the first battle? Yeah, that was me. I thought I ended it. I exposed her, tore the curtain off, got justice, right? Everyone saw her for what she was. But narcissists? They don't crumble. They rebrand. She came back with a new TikTok handle at healingfromboone.no. I'm not joking. Her first post was her crying in her car saying, "He publicly ambushed me in front of my friends and family. I'm still processing the trauma." 3 million views in 4 days. The comments: "Girl, you're so strong. He weaponized your vulnerability. Cancel this manipulative psycho." That manipulative psycho was me, apparently. And just like that, she flipped the script again. But she didn't stop at TIKTOK. She went nuclear. That same week, I got served with a civil harassment claim, filed under public defamation, emotional abuse, and digital harassment. She said I hacked her phone, doxed her. She attached screenshots of my anonymous email to the Facebook Moms group, my fake Journal Guy Rewrites account, even the wedding invite. How the hell did she trace it? I found out when I looked closer. She had run a trace route on the links I sent. Got my IP. Turns out Marla took one cybersecurity course 6 years ago. Of course, the hearing was scheduled for 2 weeks out. And here's the worst part. She didn't actually want to win. She wanted me to break. She wanted to smear me, drag me, twist the knife until I screamed. And for a minute, it worked. I spiraled. Bad. Nora found me on her couch at 3 a.m. scrolling Reddit threads on false accusations and drinking cold coffee like it was medicine. "Get up," she said. "We're not losing to that psycho witch." She didn't say psycho. She used something way saltier. But I'm trying to stay TTS-friendly. So we got smart. We didn't fight the emotion. We buried it in logic. I started collecting everything. Texts, voice memos, metadata, phone logs, security footage from the hotel in Miami, bank statements, hell, even a DoorDash receipt that proved she lied about a key date. I cross-referenced it all in a 27-page evidence file. But Marla, she wasn't slowing down. 3 days before the hearing, she released a podcast episode titled, "My Fiancé Tried to Ruin My Life." It opened with dramatic piano music. She spoke softly, like a victim in a documentary. Talked about emotional isolation, gaslighting, coercive control. She quoted journal lines out of context, ones I'd written when I was at rock bottom. Said I used emotional terrorism. Her words. Guess what happened next? She got invited to speak at a college symposium on digital abuse. She's not even a student. It felt like watching a serial arsonist win an award for fire safety. But then, I got a message. Anonymous. No profile pic. Just a text. Check the flash drive in the zipper of her gray duffel. She never deleted the originals. At first, I thought it was spam. But something about it felt off. Like the sender knew I needed this. I remembered her gray travel bag. The one she took to Miami. Marla had moved back in with her friend Danya, the same one who had once recorded her drunk ranting about playing Boone like a puppet. So I took a risk. I messaged Danya directly and paid her $600 via Venmo to borrow Marla's bag for 1 hour. She agreed instantly. That night, I had it. The gray duffel, tucked in the inside zipper, was a matte silver USB. I popped it into Nora's laptop. My hands were shaking. My mouth dried. Inside were 6 video files. Marla, alone, talking to her phone camera, practicing her journal reading speech, mocking me, rehearsing tears, laughing. One clip showed her rehearsing. And now I'll say he thinks I'm just safe. Pause for gasp. Then I'll cry. Maybe break the glass? Nah, too dramatic. She even adjusted the lighting. It wasn't a breakdown. It was a performance. A rehearsed takedown. She planned the whole thing. Down to the gasp dot, I sent the videos to my lawyer. The next day, she subpoenaed Marla's podcast records, demanded full account verification logs, and filed a countersuit for defamation, emotional distress, and character assassination. The court date came fast, and I wasn't walking in like a victim. I was walking in with facts, files, and fire. The courtroom was dead silent. No buzzing, no phones, no whispers. Just tension, thick and electric, like the air before a lightning strike. Marla strutted in like she was on a talk show set, pearl earrings, light makeup, that same pathetic wounded doe expression she'd worn for months. She sat 2 rows across from me, crossed her legs slowly, like she wanted to remind the room, I'm the one who controls the narrative. But today, that control was gone. The judge started by asking for opening statements. Marla's lawyer stood tall guy, smug as hell, leaned into the "my client was publicly humiliated" angle, spun her story like a Lifetime movie script. She was gaslit, ambushed, and digitally stalked by someone she trusted. I stayed quiet. Let him spin his fiction. Then my lawyer stood up, calm, focused, and said one thing: we're not here to debate feelings. We're here to look at facts. Then she handed the judge a flash drive. Inside, the videos. The audio clips, the metadata trail, and the final nail, Marla's own screen recording, accidentally saved to her cloud drive, showing her logging into my fake TikTok burner to correct the narrative. Yes, she'd been impersonating me. That courtroom gasped louder than my mom did at the rehearsal dinner. And for the first time, Marla flinched. Her lawyer panicked, tried to pivot, claimed the videos were taken out of context. But the judge wasn't buying it. "Miss Creel," she said, her voice like steel, "were these recordings fabricated?" Marla froze, her lips parted, then closed. Then she did something insane. She started crying. Right there on the witness bench, with zero warning, zero buildup. She just burst into fake tears like she was auditioning for a soap opera. I was scared. I didn't know how else to stop him from what? The judge snapped. From exposing the truth? Silence. Marla's mouth moved, but no sound came out. She cracked. Right there. In front of cameras, reporters, and a jury that looked like they wanted to throw tomatoes at her. Judgment was swift. My name cleared, her case thrown out, my countersuit proceeding the full trial with a high likelihood of damages. But here's the part that actually shocked me. Marla never showed up to the next hearing. She vanished, deleted all social media, closed her shop, moved out of state. Some say she went to Oregon. Others say she married a crypto guy in Nevada. I don't care. She's not in my life anymore. And me? I finally slept. For the first time in nearly a year, I didn't wake up angry or afraid or plotting revenge. I woke up free. But here's the thing people don't tell you. Freedom after hell feels weird. Quiet, heavy, lonely. Because after everything burns, there's just ash. No applause. Number. Fireworks. Just the sound of your own heartbeat asking, now what? Well, I'll tell you, I started writing again. Not in a journal, but a blog. Anonymous, of course. And my first post was titled, "The Woman Who Tried to Cancel Me with My Own Thoughts." It went viral. And suddenly, I had a following. People who knew exactly what it felt like to be humiliated, twisted, erased. People who had been me. And now I helped them speak. I built something out of the wreckage. But if I'm being honest, part of me still stares at the door sometimes, waiting for her shadow, because with someone like Marla, you're never really safe. So let me ask you something. What would you have done if someone read your darkest fears out loud, laughed about them, and then made the whole world cheer? Would you walk away, or would you burn it all down and build your name back from the ashes? Tell me in the comments, because I made my choice, and I'd do it all again. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought? Or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.